Hey guys, Kevin here to bring you a brand new video where today I'm going to be talking about what I think, in my opinion, has to be one of the most remarkable and legendary games to ever be created. And that game is GoldenEye 007. Now, I know that this game is a lot older and it is an FPS shooter in fact, but for its time, it's just such a legendary game for what it is and what it was able to do, given the controls it had, given the time period it had, given what it was based off of, and how well it was received. It's just so well deserved because, in my opinion, I believe that it really paved the way for FPS shooters. Even though it was based off of a movie, I'm willing to bet that at least like millions of people who bought that game probably didn't even like buy it because they saw the movie and wanted to have a game based on the movie. They're like, oh, this is a cool shoot 'em up game, one of those cool FPS shooters where you can fight against your friends. That's cool, finally. Like honestly, like this is gonna be kind of funny for me to say this, but like you could call the game Pew 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 and have a story that I have no idea what it's about, and I would still love it, honestly. And like, I just played the campaign today. I played the first mission, and honestly, like, I don't know exactly what's going on in the story, but it's just so awesome. Like, it's almost like a puzzle they're trying to get you to figure out, and like, you gotta admire like the creativity for that back then, because like back then making creative ways for you to like progress, like they didn't do a ton of that back in the day. Back in the day it was often very linear, but in this game they make you do quite a bit of things to progress forward, like shutting off switches, shooting something, shooting off a lock, this and that. And there's a lot of like variety and depth to the game already, I can tell. And I think even though I didn't see the movie, I mean, apparently, if you see the movie, you have a better idea of what's going on in the campaign. But even though I didn't see the movie, I feel like I can already get a good idea of what's going to happen in the story. Like if I just keep paying attention, I can kind of like string things together of what's going on. But I mean, either way, like the story is not everything in this at all because this game was just remarkable for what it did for being a shooter where especially considering you only have one analog stick. I mean, how are you gonna play a shooter with the controller? It's not like this. I mean, like with only one analog stick, like how the hell are you gonna do that? I mean, like, but they did it really well, amazingly. Like they adopted 12 different control schemes, I believe. So you have a variety to choose from in different ways. See what can fit your standard. And the default one is honestly not even that bad, um, being that it came from the campaign. Um, I think the thing to watch out for with the default one is just don't aim down the sight too much because you don't really need to do that. Just do it for like long range enemies where you can't really see them without aim down the sight. Like if you just like don't aim down the sight, you can just like spray guys down without having aim, which is pretty awesome. And I mean, if you look like left and right, you kind of get like a little sway in your gun. Like if you start looking right, it'll start to like sway over. So it's like almost like an aim assist thing, but just I mean the real struggle is definitely looking up and looking down. But at least you can do that in this game, because in a game like Doom, you can't even look up or down. And I mean I think that's I mean like Doom did come before this game, granted, and I mean I have to give my respect to that game for being one of the real first person shooters that really like paved the way for games like this. But like this one really paved the way for games like Call of Duty, which I see right here. But like Doom, it's just like I respect it, but like I just can't get with it. Like the old graphics, the fact that you can't even look up, the fact that a guy at the balcony, you can shoot a guy and say there's a guy in the ceiling up there. I'm gonna shoot right here, and that guy in the ceiling is gonna die because I can't aim up. Okay, like that makes sense, right? Like it's just, and like the graphics, it just for an FPS, like, yeah, it was revolutionary back then, but like when I look at it now, it's like, damn, like that was that's old. But that's the thing. It's like you look at GoldenEye though, that game is incredible, even dating back then, for what it was able to do. And I mean, like, the single player and the multiplayer are also incredible, which is important to note. So like single player, the multiplayer, which was the first thing I started playing, not a big surprise. I mean, I'm sure that's what a lot of you guys played most of the time. But the multiplayer is just so fun. Trying to get around the map and just learn the map and fight off against different guys, all your friends. It's just like a classic old school battle with your friends that you could have. And it was the first real game to do that, to be able to just like square off different guns, different characters, different customization. It revolutionized that. Even though health is very unfair, I'd say. I just like you can put a whole clip of a machine gun into a guy's body and he's not dead and he can run away and grab body armor. So I mean that's just a little bit of a meme, but despite that, it's still really good. I mean, granted, single player CPUs obviously don't do that, but in multiplayer when you're playing with your friends, I do find that a bit ridiculous. The fact that it takes so many bullets to kill a guy, and don't even try slappers only, because like that's just like you're literally just swiping a guy with your hand. Like that's not that's just gonna take way too long. But don't do that. It's just in if one person just decides to bail and get body armor again, it's just never gonna end. It's never gonna end. So that's that. But I mean, I do like that though. Like they have so many cool game modes. You only live twice. That's my favorite one. And they have a few others, like team match, like sort of like a first to whatever kills thing, and then like you can customize the weapons, different weapons you can use. I think the sniper rifle was pretty cool for that time. I mean, introducing a sniper rifle that you can zoom into, like that's a big deal. I mean, and it is a pretty nice sniper rifle, I do gotta admit. But this game just provided a lot for what it was back then, being a game based off of a movie from 1995, and the game being made in 1997 from the Nintendo of all systems. I mean, like, who would have thought Nintendo would make an FPS shooter, right? Like, I mean, publish it, I should say, but like, I mean, like, you're not, if you hear about like the next like cool FPS shooter, you're not gonna think, oh yeah, Nintendo's on that, they got it. Like, no, you're not. Obviously, you're not gonna like think, yeah, that they're making that. It's gonna be awesome. Except for Splatoon, I guess. Like, it's an okay game, but I mean, like, I feel like that's not like the mainstream popular FPS shooter. But back then, GoldenEye was the mainstream popular FPS shooter. That's the thing. So it's just like so awesome that Nintendo could provide this, even though when you think about it, like GoldenEye, like there's probably not even that many other James Bond video games out there in the first place. Never mind ones that are as amazing as this. I'm willing to bet I don't even have any knowledge of any other James Bond video games, but I highly doubt there's anything this close to being this good. Because, I mean, you know, video games based off movies are often pretty bad a lot of the time. I mean, not always, but a lot of the time they're pretty damn bad. I mean, I'd say like more than half the time they tend to be bad. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome for a game to come through like this. I mean, I'm just gonna say it flat out. This is the best video game based off a movie. I mean, that might not be saying a lot, but I think it's definitely true because I can't honestly think of a better video game that's based off of a movie than this one right here, GoldenEye. I mean, it's just such a revolutionary game, and I gotta give it credit. And I haven't even finished playing the campaign yet. I hope to. Hopefully I don't get sidetracked from it, but you know, time, time can be hard to manage these days with my job and everything. And I can barely even put out this video. I mean, the struggle is real with trying to find time for everything, but